Okay, big news, fantastic news. We have not seen anything like this in the NHL in years. Literally, this might be the first time ever, but the St. Louis Blues are wheeling and dealing, baby. They made themselves a trade earlier this morning with the Pittsburgh Penguins. It's a 2026 second and a 2025 third for a 2025 second and a 2026 fifth. Not that big of a deal, right? Well, the reason this trade is important here is because the St. Louis Blues were receiving a 2025 second. Whose 2025 second did they receive? Well, they received their own 2025 second round draft pick. The Blues made a trade with Pittsburgh to get one of their own picks back that they had sent over to the Penguins in the Kevin Hayes trade all those months ago. This was a very important piece of this deal. St. Louis needed to get their own 2025 second-round draft pick back, and it cost them a 2026 second and a 2025 third to do so. I mean, a second and a third is more valuable than a second and a fifth, right? So the Blues, they made this trade on the losing end out of necessity. They got their pick back, and this is what they decided to do with it. Take a look at this, baby. The St. Louis Blues have announced that they have tendered 2 offer sheets to the Edmonton Oilers. Broberg, 2 years, $4.58 million. Holloway, 2 years, $2.29 million. 2 offer sheets at the same time. We had made videos, we had discussed the idea, the ghost of the idea. Hey, could the Oilers be screwed over by the offer sheet? Could the Oilers get Broberg and Holloway offer sheeted at the same time? And it turns out they did, by the same team in St. Louis. This is crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. What was the last offer sheet we had seen in the NHL? Was it Jesperi Kotkaniemi? Let's go out there and search NHL offer sheets, and then we'll go to the Wikipedia page, because there is a very informed article as to how many NHL players have signed offer sheets. Okay, here we go. Before we read over to the article, Larry Robinson signed an offer sheet. Guy Lafleur? Oh my gosh, some very legendary names here. Joe Sakic, oh my goodness. Matthias Olin, Fedorov, Kessler, Vanek, Sebastian Aho, Kotkaniemi. Yeah, so Kotkaniemi was the last offer sheet in the NHL. Broberg and Holloway, though. August 13th, 2024. Original team Edmonton. Offer sheet team St. Louis. Big moves here, folks. Man. Look at this, eh? Breaking the curse of Montreal and Carolina guys getting offer sheeted. Let's go over to the article and read what they have to say here on the St. Louis Blues website. Broberg and Holloway, 2 offer sheets. St. Louis Blues president of hockey ops and GM Doug Armstrong announced today the Blues have tendered offer sheets to Oilers defenseman Broberg and forward Dylan Holloway. The Oilers have 7 days to exercise their right of first refusal of either players per section 10.3 of the NHL collective bargaining agreement. The Blues will have no further comment until the Oilers have made their decision as to whether or not to match the terms of either offer or accept the commensurate compensation. Broberg, 23 years old, has played 81 games for the Oilers over the last 3 seasons, registering 2 goals and 11 assists after being selected in the first round, 8th overall in the 2019 draft. The Örebro, Sweden native has played in 20 career playoff games for Edmonton, including 10 games during their run to the Stanley Cup Finals, in which he posted 2 goals and an assist. The offer to Broberg is for a 2-year contract at $4.58017 per year, the maximum offer that will require a second-round pick as draft compensation. Look at that. $4.5 million? Look, I'm sorry, man. I believe in Broberg. I want to say that this guy has potential, and in all the videos that we had talked about with Broberg potentially getting offer sheeted, I said that he's got a lot to go for him. He's got all the tools. He just kind of needs to figure out the guy who's working with them. But man, $4.5 million? Holy overpay Batman. I can see why Philip Broberg decided to sign that offer sheet. You're not going to tell me that it would have been a better decision for Broberg to reject a $4.5 million AAV contract at 2 years just to stay with the Oilers, who were probably going to give him 1 1 point something, just under 2, maybe 2 if he was lucky, $1 million a year. It's the exact same thing with Jesperi Kotkaniemi. He's offered a boatload of money, way more than he's worth. He'd be a fool to not accept it. Dylan Holloway, 22 years old, has participated in 89 games for the Oilers since entering the league in 22-23 as a former first-round pick 14th overall in 2020. He tallied 9 goals and 9 assists during those 2 seasons. The Calgary, Alberta native and University of Wisconsin product has also played 26 career playoff games, including 25 during Edmonton's journey to the 2024 Stanley Cup Final, in which he contributed 5 goals and 2 assists. The offer to Holloway is for a 2-year contract at $2.29 million a year per year, the maximum offer that would require a third-round draft pick as compensation. To satisfy the required compensation of the offer sheet should Edmonton choose to decline their right of first refusal, the Blues have completed a trade with the Pittsburgh Penguins to reacquire their second-round pick in 2025, acquired via trade, and acquire Pittsburgh's fifth-round pick in 2026. The Pens will receive St. Louis's second-round pick in 2026 and Ottawa's 2025 third, acquired via a trade. So, the Philip Broberg offer sheet, which is the second-round pick draft compensation offer sheet, this is why the Blues made that trade with the Pittsburgh Penguins to get their own second-round pick back. But just seeing everything go down, this is huge. Let's go out there and read some comments from Jeremy Rutherford. In June, here's Armstrong's possibility on offer sheets, or his comments on the possibility of offer sheets. There's a perception that offer sheets are taboo by GMs. Offer sheets that don't work are taboo by GMs. That's the assessment we all make. I think teams are more than willing to at least explore that now. The cap has gone up, but a lot of that money has already been spent by the teams. If you have an RFA that is in an uncomfortable spot, it's at least my responsibility to assess, is that an option that we should explore? The answer was yes. So for Philip Broberg, I feel like, of course, Broberg is the big one. Literally, he is making 4-point-something million. Either he makes it with Edmonton or he makes it with St. Louis, because if the Oilers say, hey, that's too damn expensive, we just cannot afford that for Philip Broberg of all people, we'll get this second-round pick in return, and we'll allow him to go to St. Louis. Broberg is making that money. Whether it is Edmonton or St. Louis, he's going to be making that money because he already signed the deal. He got that offer sheet on lock. But again, I mean, if the Blues really do see that amount of value out of a guy who was a primary AHL option last season, then go nuts. Absolutely go nuts, Doug Armstrong. Go nuts, and let's see what this ends up accomplishing for your hockey team, because I mean, look, $4.5 million is a lot of money for a guy who has only played a total of 81 NHL games and has only scored 13 points. They must have really been confident in his playoff performance because, as we did say, I mean, he had 2 points in the Stanley Cup Final Series against the Panthers. He came in relief and started playing a little bit more, and actually started doing pretty well. So maybe that's why the St. Louis Blues evaluated Broberg as a $4.5 million guy. But also, it's like, you know, if they didn't offer him 4.5, he wouldn't have signed the offer sheet, right? Like, he had to have gotten a huge payday to make things work, and that's exactly what he got. As for Dylan Holloway, I'm actually surprised that the offer is as little as it is compared to Broberg, but then again, it's like, you know, it's all based off of the offer sheet tiers. Broberg got offer sheeted the most that he could get without going over a second-round compensation. Dylan Holloway got offer sheeted the most that he could get without going over a third-round pick as compensation. And Holloway making 2-point-something mil, I mean, he is also a guy that was mostly hovering around there, NHL, AHL the past few years. He has been like a full-time NHL guy at points, but he was never really like too amazing, which definitely diverges from the path that he had as a Wisconsin Badger, where he was over a point per game and doing all these really good things as a first-round caliber prospect. So now, both of these guys, Broberg and Holloway, are heading over to St. Louis, assuming the Edmonton Oilers do not match the offer sheets that were bestowed upon these players. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the numbers over here. This is it, man. Broberg, $4.580917 million a year for 2 years. Holloway, $2.290457 million a year for 2 years. The compensation is a third-round pick for Holloway and a second for Broberg. $1 more on the AAV for each player would have bumped up the compensation. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.